Charlie, people don't usually switch to solar with just the one panel.
That would be insane.
Yes, you have lone rangers and lone wolves, but you don't really have a lone solar panel out on its own, generating solar electricity.
Yes, solar panels are designed to work as a team, like a bunch of hyenas hunting a wildebeest, except instead of hunting, they're just sort of lying down.
But like every great team, every member of the team needs to pull their weight.
Intriguing.
I'm Josh.
I'm Charlie.
And today we're going to be talking about solar panel optimizers, when you need them, how they work, and whether they're actually any good.
And we are Sunsave. We offer the UK's very first solar subscription, which means you can switch to solar with no upfront cost. But more detail about that later on in the video.
Let's dive straight into it then. A solar panel optimizer is a small black plastic box about the size of a VHS tape, or for our younger, more modern viewers, about the size of a Wi-Fi router.
A solar panel optimizer connects to the back of a solar panel and it monitors the generation of the panel. And if necessary, it will alter the panel's electrical characteristics to ensure that your system has got maximized output.
It achieves this by using a technology called maximum power point tracking, or MPPT. It's the same technology used by string inverters.
Why is this necessary, you ask? Well, if you have a system with a string inverter, if one or two panels aren't performing, perhaps due to shade, this will bring down the output of the rest of the system. A bit like at Christmas, if you have a tree with lights on, if one of the lights stops working, it will make all the other lights dimmer, potentially ruining Christmas for the whole family.
So true. And that's because most solar panel systems are wired in series, which means that one solar panel's positive terminal is connected to another's negative terminal. And that does what Charlie said. Basically, if one panel isn't working as well as the others, it'll bring the rest down to its level. So it's good on a good day and bad on a bad day.
If your installer recommends optimizers, at the very least this will mean attaching an optimizer to every solar panel that is expected to underperform. However, some optimizer brands will require you to attach optimizers to a minimum number of panels, usually around 8, and some optimizer brands will actually require you to attach optimizers to every panel in your system.
Your solar installer might recommend that you get optimizers for your system because one or more of the panels is expected to be in shade every day, for instance from a building, tree or chimney. It could also be because some of your solar panels are installed at a less than optimal angle or orientation compared to the rest of your panels.
If you've optimized your system, it means you're going to get more out of it, generate more electricity and get more savings on your energy bills. That's because you'll be importing less from the grid and you'll be able to export more excess and earn money.
You'll also be able to monitor the performance of each individual optimized panel on your solar panel app. And
if you're still here, hit the like button and subscribe.
So we've told you that optimizers improve the output of underperforming panels, but how do they actually do that?
It's pretty brutal actually. It's not great for the self-esteem of the underperforming panel. If an optimizer senses that its panel isn't performing, it will actually reroute the electric current around the panel, basically pulling it away from the teamwork, a bit like when a football team just stops passing to a certain player.
Right, so what is actually happening is that the solar panel that is underperforming is taken out of series and placed in parallel.
Now, the solar panel that's been put in parallel is still able to contribute to the overall electricity production of the system, but it won't be bringing the other panels down. Now, solar panels already have an inbuilt technology inside them to help them deal with shade, and these are called bypass diodes, and they essentially function like very small optimizers.
There are usually 3 per panel, and they each control 1/3 of the cells on that panel. So if the panel is in partial shade, the relevant bypass diode will reroute the current around that section of the panel.
So this is just how optimizers work, except on a much smaller scale.
Bypass diodes also protect your solar cells from permanent damage because partial shading on your panels can cause overheating.
However, there is an issue with bypass diodes, and that is that they don't step in to help until they sense that your solar panel is at least 20% shaded. So if your solar panel is experiencing 15% shade, that is going to be bringing down your system's output to a considerable extent, and your bypass diode won't even lift a finger.
And that is where optimizers come in. Their attitude towards underperformance is a lot less lenient. So they will step in the moment they sense just a drop in output.
Should we stop and talk about Sunsave Plus?
Let's do it!
Sunsave Plus is the UK's first solar subscription, and it is designed to unlock solar for millions of households in the UK.
With Sunsave Plus, you can switch to solar with no upfront cost. All you have to do is pay a fixed monthly fee for 20 years. And it does stay absolutely fixed. No sneaky price rises, so you are fully protected against inflation from energy bills.
You will immediately start saving on your energy bills, and you will also earn income for exporting excess electricity to the grid. And these combined savings could exceed your monthly payment to Sunsave, which means you actually earn money each year despite paying a subscription. This means you don't have to wait years for payback, which is what most people have to do when they buy solar upfront.
Your best-in-class solar and battery system will also be protected by the Sunsave Guarantee, which provides total peace of mind that your system will produce clean, green electricity for the duration of your subscription, without you having to raise a finger.
The Sunsave Guarantee includes free replacement parts, including a battery and inverter, 24/7 monitoring and maintenance, comprehensive insurance provided by Aviva, and downtime cover.
Sunsave Plus is built to be flexible, so you're in charge of your subscription. Therefore, you can make a full or partial early repayment at any point without incurring any fees, charges, or penalties.
You also legally own your system from day one, which means that you will earn 100% of the export income. We don't take a cut.
Sunsave Plus also doesn't require a roof lease or airspace lease, which have historically caused problems with mortgage providers in the past.
To learn more about Sunsave Plus, head to our website, sunsave.energy. There you can read way more about a subscription, watch interviews with people who already have it, and sign up yourself. So we spent a bit of time making solar panel optimizers sound pretty good, but unfortunately every silver lining has a cloud.
Yes, there are a few things to consider before you dive headfirst into buying a solar panel system that's got optimizers.
Now the first problem obviously is that a system with optimizers is going to cost more than a system without optimizers.
But of course, if optimizers are raising your savings because they're lifting the output of your system, it may be worth the additional cost of the optimizers. A good installer, when they're designing your system, will be able to present all the options to you, along with the cost-benefit analysis, so you shouldn't have to make your mind up without expert advice.
Well said, Josh. Another problem with optimizers is that they come with a 25-year warranty, which is long, but given that modern solar panels are expected to last somewhere between 30 or 40 years, it's clearly quite likely that you're going to have to replace your optimizers at some point during your solar panel's lifespan.
What a ball ache.
A bit of a ball ache, Josh, certainly. The other problem with optimizers is that they can often have reliability issues. According to UK solar installer Spirit Energy, they've installed optimizers on over 450 sites since 2011, and roughly 10% of these sites have reported issues with their optimizers.
And if your optimizers are faulty, the extra cost of scaffolding and labour to repair them can be quite steep. But the major disadvantage of optimizers isn't really a disadvantage per se, it's basically just that there's a better technology out there.
Yeah, it's a bit like saying the main disadvantage of getting the bus is that you could be in a lovely private taxi.
Yes, there's a piece of technology called a microinverter, which is very similar to an optimizer in some ways. It is a similar size, it also attaches to the back of a solar panel, but when it's improving your solar panel system's output, it does so in a much more technologically advanced way.
Yeah, so what it does is it replaces the need for a standard string inverter, which converts all your solar panels' DC electricity into AC electricity, and instead this conversion happens on a per panel basis.
However, there is no option to have your microinverters on just the panels that are underperforming. You have to have them on every single panel in your system.
As we explained earlier, an optimizer takes a solar panel out of series and puts it in parallel temporarily, but with microinverters, all of your solar panels are always in parallel.
With optimizers, you still need a standard string inverter. These last about 10 to 12 years, and you'll need to replace them, which is an expensive faff. But with microinverters, you don't need a standard string inverter at all.
At all.
You'll also eliminate the need for DC cables between your panels and inverter. And there's usually a small amount of electricity lost in this process, and you'll eliminate that as well.
Like optimizers, microinverters usually come with a 25-year warranty, but they tend to experience far fewer maintenance problems than optimizers, and they also come with exactly the same monitoring benefits.
If you haven't guessed already, the major downside of microinverters is cost. They're usually priced at about 3 times more than optimizers.
But this doesn't mean that they're not necessarily worth it. It's all about how much output you'll gain from a system with microinverters versus a system with optimizers versus a standard system. If you go with a good installer, if they identify any panels that might be experiencing performance issues in the future, they'll design your system with these different technologies, they'll talk you through the different options, and they'll give you advice so you can make the best kind of optimizer decision, an informed one. We promised you a video about optimizers, but we have ambushed you at the end with information about microinverters.
Optimizers can be very clever bits of kit, and they can help your underperforming panels, so it's all about weighing up the additional cost against the additional benefit.
And if you want to maximize your system's output with the best tech on the market, we would recommend microinverters, although again, it's about weighing up the cost versus the benefits.
To learn more about all things solar, head to our advice hub. The link is in the description. It's full of helpful articles.
And to learn more about Sunsave Plus, the UK's first solar subscription, and sign up yourself, the link is also in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We release videos all the time about everything solar.
See ya!